And those kids, when we are all kids, we jump. Some of us were born with parents that caught us. Some of us, we turned and jumped and we never had a parent there. Some of us jumped and our parents sucked at catching. That's just... Some of us had a parent that not only wasn't there to catch us, they threw him down the steps. They did it. It's their fault, not yours. Those children jump with zero fear, zero holding on to the railing, zero reservation of what could happen, because they know with 1,000% certainty that their dad is going to catch them. How often do I jump like that? How often do we jump like that as adults? For God. A lot of the times my hand is still on the rail. I'll jump and I have one hand on the rail going, I don't want to, whether it's the fear of me falling, or whether it's the fear of him not catching me, or whether it's the fear of, or maybe it's I just can't conceive because of what I've been put through by another human being, or the lack thereof of that person existing. I can't conceive of how someone could catch all of me and not let me fall at all. I can't conceive of it. If that's you, he can. He can. And he will. When we have those kids turn and jump, and I started realizing the frame of mind that they were in, and then I started questioning myself on the things that I do in my daily life and the decisions that I'm making, especially when they relate to retaliation and revenge for hurtful things, unjustified lies, unjustified actions in rooms I never had the chance to be in to defend myself. I am justified in dealing with it in my mind. And God goes, when's the last time you jumped? And just let me catch you. Are you really jumping, or are you not? Do you love me the way that that kid loves you? Or do you not? Do you trust me the way that they, like a childlike faith, like the Bible talks about? That's what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. Right? He will catch us. How many times I had to take my own plan for the hurt that was lied on me, out of all different reasons, manipulation, jealousy, just garbage, all hearts filled with garbage, which my heart has garbage in it. You have to be very, very careful in dealing garbage, whether you're a Christian or a not Christian. If your heart is in the wrong place and you are spewing lies or gossip or something, and God knows the heart. He knows what seed you're planting. If you're planting that seed, you are not fighting me. You are not fighting me. You're not coming against me. You're not coming against my wife. You're coming against the God, the creator of the universe, of heaven and earth. You surround me. He will surround you, and you fade away, and I win. And that's the way it's always been. I can give you time after time after time, time after time after time, where God has been faithful because of the condition and submission of my heart, especially when he created me in a way that is the opposite of my personality, and he knows that. He knows that I don't want to submit. So, all that, sorry for that spiel, but I'm going,
no, it's so good.
All of that is an example of the level of I was so heavily submitted, and I still am, right? Like, I have learned what I'm good at, but I know even more so what I suck at, what I'm bad at, and um, I am very quick as I've gotten older. I am quicker to go, God, I need you. I can't do this. I can't. Like, I need you to step in on my behalf here. Again, I will come home some nights so angry, and Hope will hear me going off a rail, off the rail, and I'll say, I know, just let me vent. I'm not
I did that yesterday. I'm like,
right.
just let me get it out, Lord, and
You
then I can let the bitterness
and
and
just
stuff
let it
go.
go,
Yeah.
right? Let it go. And I'm not saying it to whatever. It's fine. Um, and I'll throw this out here too. And I'll bet you know what you and your husband are. In our relationship, Hope is the internal processor. I am the verbal processor, right? So, like, when we first got married and we'd be having dialogue and it would get heated, and she would stop answering me, and she would go, I just need you to stop for a second. To me, that's the biggest slap in the face. And I'm going, you can't stand me right now? Like, you, what I didn't understand is she needs time to process quietly in her mind where she is, what the arguments are, whether she's right or wrong, take responsibility for what part she's responsible for, leave me to take responsibility for the part I'm responsible for. I don't get to that point unless I'm vocally going through it, right? So if you have someone like me hounding someone like her, it ends up with a young couple with one of the spouses going, I'm sorry, but you need to shut your face and stop talking. But it's not for the reason that the person who talks, it's not for the reason they think it is. It's not because they're sick of them.
Yeah, it's
It's
not being
it's
disrespectful.
not. It's
Yeah.
I can't think.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking in my ear giving me new content, I can't process, dude. Back up. We've learned that, and we've gotten much better because I'll go outside and talk to myself, right? And she'll
Or are you
and
talking to God?
well, that too, yes. It's lots of times I start off talking to myself, and then I end up whining it around to go, God, is this right? Like, I don't know. But then we come back together later, and we're both quick to apologize and ask for forgiveness for the stuff for our part of it. So I get done with I guess I get done with Jacksonville, move to Harrisburg. Um, that was an awesome. It was like Rocky Four, where he went and moved to the Arctic tundra or whatever, like by himself in isolation. Because ready? Here we go. I said Harrisburg.
Oh.
When I was prepping because you have to make a decision, because right, so that's Florida. I just went to law school in. I'm going to practice in Pennsylvania. Hope wants me to live there. Skip offered me a job. I'm going to move back and work in Pennsylvania. So I have to take the bar exam in Pennsylvania for Pennsylvania law, which I don't know anything about because I just did Florida. So in order to do that, you have to do bar prep for 2.5 months, and then sit and take the bar exam at that designated location. I wasn't going to do it in Philly. I wasn't going to do it in Pittsburgh. I said, I'll do it in Harrisburg. That's fine. I said, where are the locations? Widener University Law School, Harrisburg, where I started. I was like, really? That's awesome. I'm like, sign me up. Let's do it. And because I'm different now, man. Like, I'm riding in. I got my Juris Doctorate now. I got Jesus. I know this is what I'm destined to do. And I rolled in there like I owned the place. And I had a ball. And met a lot of really cool people. Abby and Kim Mowry, both from that area. Shout out to them. They're both phenomenal attorneys. Kim, I think's in Scranton now, doing great from what I see. We were study partners, locked in, and absolutely killed the Pennsylvania bar. And then moved home, and a month later got married to Hope, and in less than a year had Alexander, and then the ride began, and it just it flew, man. It was so, and you know, if you guys haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast that my wife had done, I'm not going to go through all of it. I want you to go listen to her. She did a phenomenal job. We were in our early 30s. We had our first 3 kids, and Hope was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I remember sitting around New Year's Eve in the State College Hospital in the cancer center, and being in my early 30s, I just remember it was like I was in a fog during that window, going, God, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing here? Like, how did we get here? Like, what are you doing? Like, literally, what are you doing? Like, what is happening? And I remember having, it was hard to say it out loud for us, what was happening to her. Because it just didn't seem real. Right? Right? I think most people who go through this have that initial, like, I can't, and I remember we were sitting in the lobby, we were waiting for her first PET scan, which they did in like a tractor trailer, truck trailer out in a parking lot. And we're sitting there, and there was an older couple, an elderly couple, probably in their 70s, walking through the lobby. And this nice little old lady comes up, and she walks up to Hope, and she leans down, puts her hand on her, and she goes, "Are you here to see somebody and visit somebody, honey?" And Hope went, "No." And the look that changed on that woman's face told the story. And she went, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry." And she gave her a hug. This stuff's heavy, man. It's heavy, right? Like your story, it's heavy. Mm-hmm. And if people, it's heavier or heaviest, obviously, for the person who has to experience that garbage and deal with it on the day to day. But if you're someone that's listening and you're the one that is, you're the wingman, you're the husband or the wife that is along for the ride, I guess. It sucks. And it's okay to say it sucks. And listen, it's okay to be angry at God. It's okay to question out loud, God, what's going on. It's okay. Like, I think one thing my kids would say about me, there's a bunch, obviously, but I think one thing they would say is, my dad's a fixer. That's what he does. Like, my dad, when my dad shows up in the room, he's going to fix it. Especially, like, anything relational stuff. Like, he's going to strategize. We're going to fix it. It'll be okay. He's going to fix it. I couldn't fix it with her. It was so hard. Right? I couldn't fix it. I watched my wife with a newborn Vivi, my little girl, and 2 little boys. I watched my wife through the course of time with chemo. She was still beautiful. She was beautiful. But she was skeletal. 23 hours a day she was sleeping out of the 24. It was like if you take a sponge, if you could fill it up as full as it could get, she was full. She was full. I remember whenever she was so full that she started getting a fever. Did she tell when she was here about her cutting off the therapy when she stopped chemo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
So that, just real quick. So my wife is telling me, like, we pull into the oncology department to get her treatment. So if you've been through this or whatever, or even if you haven't and you're a spouse, think about this for a second. So we've just went through months of this treatment that's planned out over the course of a period of time. You have to stick to a very strict regimen and monitor everything very closely, and it's like clockwork, right? And you're very sensitive because you don't want to throw it off. And she's one of the lucky, these women are lucky that they are able to survive these these garbage encounters, and they're able to survive them. And so you don't want to overturn the apple cart when you're this deep in, right? And now I'm sitting in a parking lot ready to walk in with my wife, and I'm doing my best to fix and support and to be, even though I would rather be the one experiencing it to endure it so she didn't have to feel it, but I can't. And so I'm doing my limited part the best I can. And she looks at me and says, Eric, I think I'm done with chemo. And I went, what are you talking about? I went, you're crazy. What are you? No, you're not. You still have multiple treatments to go, babe. Like, what are you talking about? She goes, Eric, I'm telling you, God is telling me that the cancer is gone. It's gone. And that I'm healed and I don't need to do chemo anymore. Okay. I'm trying to be supportive, but I'm looking at this person that I love more than life itself, and I've watched her physical body wither and fail, and we've made it all through that, and I'm going, if you mess this up, this process, it is going to ruin our kids, you, it could kill you, it's going to ruin me. What are you doing? We're doing what the oncologist said. And she goes, how about this? She's such a, I love her. She goes, how about this? If we go in there and the doctor says that I'm not doing chemo today, then I get to tell them that we're done and to run a PET scan. And I said, deal, bet, take it. It's good luck. We're going to do this. Because she still had a number of treatments left. She had to restart in the middle of her chemo because she spiked a fever so bad I had to get her to Pittsburgh. And they spent a week on her trying to figure out what was wrong, why I had her packed in ice and I couldn't break a fever. And we had to get her back onto schedule, and we're just getting her back onto schedule, and everything's going. And you know what that bugger ended up? We get in there, and I think it was Dr. Hassan. I know Dr. Hassan was the oncologist who let her go to Pittsburgh and did me a huge favor. Anyway, we're there, and he goes, they do vitals and stuff like they always do and check her in, and the doctor leaves, and then he comes back in a couple minutes later, and he goes, Mrs. Cummings, he says, I'm sorry to tell you, I know we're ready to get back into this treatment, but I wanted to let you know you have a fever today. Your fever's elevated, therefore we're not going to be able to implement treatment. Your chemotherapy is canceled for today. And Hope went, okay. She goes, well, I'm done. And the doctor goes, and I'm like biting my hand. I'm like, are you serious right now? This is really what she just won that bet. Like, really? This is God doing this? She says it is. I'm the bystander. I'm of the passenger seat. I have to trust what she's saying, even though it is completely contradicting every ounce of me that is filled with fear and just fear of having to endure this again unnecessarily. And she goes, I'm done. She goes, I'm done. She goes, the cancer's gone. And he goes, it is not. And she goes, it is. She goes, I need you to give me a PET scan. It's gone. She goes, I am not doing any more chemo. They had a little bit of back and forth. I stayed out of it, just sitting there shaking my head. He looked at me and I went, she's the boss. It's her. They did the PET scan, 100% cancer free, gone. Right. She knew. Again, he showed up. Absolute. This time, I guess, I say he had to slam the door in my face. It was my wife with that test result, having a fever, slamming it in my face, going, no. I'm going to trust what God's telling me right now. And I think because she was in such a vulnerable state in that condition, that depleted condition, I think that's where fasting and all that stuff kind of gets it too. It puts us in a state of physical denial that depletes us to a point where we are spiritually uh, more aware and we are more sensitive in the spirit whenever we don't have that sustenance to rely upon. And she was in a place of, and she was in a deep, deep place of deprivation when it came to nutrients and her body being healthy and strong. So I would encourage. That was the quick one, man. You guys need to listen to Hope because when she did it, she gives the full rundown, and it was absolutely amazing. She's an unbelievable woman. So anyway, so we get married, and I'm watching her go through this. God showed up in an amazing way and through the people that were in my life at the time so that I was able to help run a business with Skip. I was able to raise the 3 older kids, still have dinner on the table, still be at work, still do practices, still make sure she was fine and taken care of, make sure the bills are paid that she takes care of, all these different things. He got us through that season onto the other side, and he was faithful the whole way through. Then Skip died unexpectedly, which was, I lost one of my spiritual mentors, one of my best friends, my legal. I didn't realize how much I knocked on his door every day, going, Skip, what do you think of this? Skip, what do you think of this? Skip, what do you think of this? And immediately gone. My dad is a phenomenal dad, but he was a young dad. And I am naturally drawn to older mentors with gray hair, I think, because I never had grandpas. I never had, it was an area in my life. And like I said, my dad had tons of wisdom and he was phenomenal, especially given his age. He did a great job. But so I was very connected to Skip. Mr. Jim Nadio, Attorney Nadio, I got very close to him over the course of my while I was practicing. And I remember Skip's wife calling me, telling me that Skip was in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. And she wanted me to meet her there. Her children live out of state. Or not all out of state, but out of the area, immediate area. And I wanted to make sure that she was taken care of. And I just remember the abruptness to the physical ending was shocking. Right? When anybody, I think that happens when anybody that we consider, if we consider an untimely death and it happens abruptly, it's shocking to the system. And he was such a big personality, so abruptly ripped out of this realm that it just left us kind of gasping. And I can't even imagine what Nancy and the kids were experiencing. I was just his friend, and I loved him very, very much, and I was gasping. It also left me scrambling, going, what am I going to do with this law firm? I have families that we're paying that that I don't know if there's enough money in the checking account to pay the paychecks next week. Do I fire people? Do I go where there's another attorney? Like, do I get hired by another law firm? Like, what do I do? And the one thing I've learned about myself is that, especially since accepting Christ, I am the most effective and creative and aggressive outside the scope thinker and problem solver when I am in an absolute backed into a corner chaotic situation. That's where I'm at my best. Which Jesus, please don't send all those down here to make me work. But that's where I am the most valuable, and that's where I remember Hope also did such an awesome thing with me, just being like vocalizing when I needed it most that I was gifted at this. Like, Skip wouldn't have put you in a position like this if you were not able to do it. I had a big state college law firm, probably 2 years after I took over and I created the Cummings Law Firm, and I loved it. I was doing what I needed to do. But I was in my 30s trying to retain clients that were 50, 60, and 70 years old. They had grandkids and kids that were my age, and I'm a business lawyer or real estate or estates, and I'm trying to convince them I know more than they do when I'm in my 30s, and you have to look the part. You have to be the guy before you become the guy. You got to say I can do it before you know how to do it. In order, that's where the mouth stuff, the word stuff, it all plays in to the direction that you're intended to go, and the trusting God, jumping off the steps and going, slamming in my face if you don't want me to go this way. Otherwise, I'm jumping, Jesus, because I need this. Let's go. I feel like this is what you call me to do. And it's all comes together into this stuff. And so I'm trying to keep the clients I had, trying to retain clients of Skip's that are walking out the door. I'm sending 1,500 letters out to his clients going, if you want to stay with us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to do this. A state college law firm that's pretty prominent called me. I had contacts with them, and they called me, and the one partner, he offered to basically take over the Cummings Law Firm and make it a part of their big law firm, like the mothership, and have me be the branch manager and run the law office the way I do. And he just buttered me up one side, down the other, which was nice, right? He's complimenting me and he's recognizing my natural attributes, and it was appreciated very much so, especially words of affirmation. So I appreciated it, but he wanted to buy us out, and it came in a season, right? Like I pictured David coming back from war whenever Bathsheba was up on top of that roof, and the Bible says that he was tired. He was tired. That's when the stuff that could take us off the path, that's when the enemy is allowed to present it and parade it in front of us, is when we're tired, right? Mm-hmm. And in that window of time, I was trying to hold together what I was doing. Hope was still, she was in remission and awesome, but still not feeling herself. She wasn't at full energy or strength. I'm trying to hold down what I'm doing with my clients. I'm trying to capture Skip's clients and all of a sudden now manage a business when I've never managed a business. That's different than practicing law and being a lawyer. And so I'm managing employees, staff, bookkeeping, all of the outfit, and I was starting to get burnt out when this offer came. And they basically said, we're going to take it over, and you won't have to worry about any of it. You just deal with the people that you already have there on staff, and the mothership's going to pay the bills, which is a huge financial relief to have that backup. It was so tempting, and I remember being in the car, and the guy who called me, who's still a good friend of me, I respect him very, very much, Tom Schrack. He's a fantastic lawyer, phenomenal. And he's the one who made the offer. And I remember getting off the phone with him, and I was driving home, and I called Hope, and I was excited because I was about to relieve all this stress that she had heard me talking about. And I was going, you're never going to believe this. Like, they want to merge, and they're going to be the financial responsible ones. Like, they're going to take over the burden. We're going to be the beneficiaries. We're going to be trickled down. I'm going to get to be at the top and be the manager and do this and this and this. And they think I'm gifted at it. And like, he told me that I'm great at it. And that's, and just all this. And Hope doing it the way that she does it with me, because she knows this is how it works. Right? Because some people would be like, oh, Eric, I'm not going to respond to that well. She goes, well, that sounds great. Can I ask you something? And I said, yeah, what? And I'm driving in my car. I know exactly what stop sign I'm sitting at when she asked me this question. And and she goes, can I ask you? I said, yeah, go ahead, ask me what. And she goes, so if there's a client that's new that they want you to take and you don't want to take it, do you have to take it? And I went, yes, Yeah, I'd have to take it. I'd have to take it. And she planted the seed exactly how it was supposed to be planted. And she went, Eric, they know how good you are at what you do, or else they wouldn't have asked you. You don't need a way out of this. And I was like, ugh, you're right. Again, you're right. Son of a gun. Onward. Okay. And that's just, again, it's the framing of it. She is so amazing at how she deals with me and handles me. She's the only one that can do it. She's the only one who knows how to do it. And God knew that. That's why it's perfect. So we get through Skip, and then I had a woman stealing from me. I caught her. She filed a lawsuit against me, saying I was trying to sexually harass her when I had never even been in a room with her alone. But I ended up spending time, money, and energy proving that she was a druggie and she was stealing money, and there was the law firm out of Philadelphia that was suing me for $25 million dropped the lawsuit whenever I sent them all of her text messages showing that she was a druggie and stole from me when she admitted it to her mother, who was also employed, and I also had her phone. And I also found out then that the mother was trying to poison me with eye drops in my coffee because I fired the daughter, couldn't retaliate and fire the mother, so the mother acted like my best friend and was making me vomit every day, which I'm thinking it's stress. I'm thinking because Hope just got done being sick, Skip just died. I'm like, what is happening? It's stress. I'm trying to deal with it. I didn't bring it up. Literally killing me, right? It's poison. End up firing her, get rid of her. If you ever have Mom on, have her explain that, because Mom anointed her chair, and within 25 minutes of her sitting down, she ripped the arm off the chair and quit. She couldn't be in the chair. It was amazing. Like, amazing. She had worked there for 15 years, sat in that same chair for 10 of those years. And that morning, after it got anointed, she ripped the arm off the chair, threw it across the room, and could sit there no longer, and she voluntarily quit. Unbelievable. God is real, man. I'm telling you. It's crazy. So again, and I don't want to I could keep going with all these different things, these examples, because the point is if you get anything out of this, I just want the drumbeat of this to be, I want you to be hearing the build up, and then God was faithful. The build up, and then he was faithful. The build up, guess what? He was still faithful. Every single time. Every single time. For over 20 years. He has been faithful. He has not failed. He has protected me time and time again. If Christ followers would understand, especially if they're not doing it with a vindictive heart, you are so protected in rooms that you've never been in before. Your flanks are covered. He goes before you to clear the way. Your backside is covered. You have zero exposure to the lies and the gossip and the headaches and the relationship and the drama and all these different things, right? You have zero exposure as long as you keep your heart clear and you rely on God and you say, God, you got to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm withholding what I can do because I know you can do it better. And it's not going to be in my time, and I might get frustrated and go, they're still out there. Why haven't you done it to them yet? Mm-hmm. Typically, what I've found is the longer it takes is because the seed is deeper and bigger. It takes longer to come up, and it's going to be more abrupt and powerful, and unfortunately, it's going to teach them a bigger lesson when it comes up. But he is faithful, man, and again, I'm imperfect. I struggle every day with my imperfections. Um, I struggle with, the Bible talks about casting your pearls amongst the swine and stuff like that, right? Like if you have daughters, especially, I'll throw this out here because it's something, right? So I have the three littles and the three bigs. Out of the two groups, I have a daughter in each group. My daughter Vivi, that's in the older group right now, we've gotten into some discussion regarding relationships, and the position that I've taken on it is probably seems outdated and strict, but it is what it is because it is what it is. And the position is this: if if you're not willing to marry that person, you're wasting your energy and time
Amen.
and efforts. If you are not willing now, well, Dad, I got to get to know him to know whether I'm willing to marry him. If you are willing, under guidance and respect, both are willing participants with oversight of me and the other parents, bring it on, they can come watch too. If you are willing to court and be friends, that's friendship. That's friendship. You want to go out to dinner? Go out to dinner. Have a nice dinner. Don't have to hold hands. Ask each other questions that you want to know, that you need to know if you're ever going to marry somebody. Do you go to church? Where do you go to church? What do you think Jesus is like? What do you think? What do you want to be when you grow up? I can't even believe we're having this discussion that like our kids have to ask what they want to be when they grow up, and we're talking about romance and marriage. It's so convoluted. But here's the deal, and this is why. And Ron Carpenter preaches on this, and it's always stuck with me because not just romantic relationships, but time and time again, I feel like we see one another and we see other people be so like loyalty above all is everything to me. Because of that, my circle is small. Okay? There are people who loyalty is everything to them, but their circle is big, meaning they share way earlier than they should be sharing intimate facts that someone should have to work and invest time to find out before they know them. I said to Vivi the other night, we're talking, and she was talking to this boy, which I wasn't happy about to begin with, but whatever. And I found out that, which is fine, I guess, they held hands for like a second. They did something. They were holding hands. Okay, cute, whatever, fine. And I sat her down and I said, if I were to have a treasure chest and I set it on the side of the road and I just leave it there open and somebody steals it, is it right for me to be mad at the person that stole it? Or should we be mad at the person who didn't bury it? And she went, I'd be madder at the person who didn't bury it. I said, okay. I said, so that type of treasure gets buried, right? I said, so next, I said, in order to get to the treasure, what do the people have to do? And she goes, they have to dig for it. I said, exactly. I said, and to dig for it, I said, that's not just you push a button and it comes up. You have to take a tool. You have to exert energy to perform an act that you don't know where the bottom is. You don't know when the payoff is. There may not be a treasure, but you nonetheless are required to put energy, effort in order to dig, to extract that treasure. I said, here's the deal, Vivi, honey. I said, you were born with thousands of treasures. God put thousands of treasures in you. And I said, and over the course of time, we acquire treasures as well, right? So, for example, Holding your hand is a treasure. Someone should have to dig for that. Because if you just hand that out, you're setting it on the side of the road. And when they take it and disappoint you and are disloyal to you, you cannot be angry at them because you didn't make them dig.
So good.
Right? Am I right? Like,
so good.
that's what I'm talking with these kids about, and I'm just like, dude, you cannot give this stuff away. Like, adults, I can't believe that I can't believe that he would do that to me. I shared that stuff with him. It was private. I can't believe that he would. How can you not believe it? You knew him for 2 weeks. You told him things he should have had to dig for. You don't let people in that don't deserve it. That's why most of the time, when men and women alike are in the habit of sharing too quickly and leads to exposure, it's because they don't value themselves and realize
so
they are
true.
filled with treasure that needs to be protected. It's worth protecting. And it's up to them to protect it. Right? It's, if you have daughters, man, and I'm not being harsh, boys, I'd slap the right? Like, I have no tolerance for who I used to be, and I understand it front, and I, like, okay, so I'll be honest with you. Like, a couple years ago, my testosterone was low. I went and got tested. I take testosterone. I have the same testosterone running through me as a 17, 18-year-old boy, medically prescribed, and my wife is like, get off me, stop touching me, right? Like, get away from me, dude. So I still remember, daily what these, I have the wisdom now to counteract the urges that I didn't know were there in 17 and 18. But so but with girls, what did I just hear? I heard it somewhere. They said, when a mom talks to a daughter, the daughter writes it down in Sharpie marker. But when a dad says something to a daughter, the daughter writes it in permanent marker. The value that my daughters find in themselves is my responsibility to build, to grow. For a time, it's to protect, and to make sure that they know that the inherent value that God has created them with, plus the added value from things they've learned and experiences they've acquired over the course of their life, those together are worth burying and protecting and hiding for their husband. It is my job to instill that in them and to oversee the maintenance and the playing out of that procedure as a father. If you're a dad listening to this, do it. It's in you, I promise. See your daughter with a dude. It will immediately, you'll be reminded immediately. Women, please empower your husbands to be in this role. Even if the husband is not vocal by nature like I am, you team with him. Do not shut him down or disrespect him in front of your daughter. Empower him, come side by side with him and be his helper that he needs, because you're a better talker than he is. And do it together to empower your daughter to be finding and seeking actively, while you pray, that she will find the man that God has created her to be with, so that she can fulfill the purposes that God created her to fulfill. But it all starts with that treasure. And whether it's holding hands, whether it's a kiss, whether it's a glance, a brush across the shoulder, whether it's a walk, whether it's talking on on Instagram. They need to dig for that. Don't give it away because you have because your self-esteem is low. You can't give it away, ladies. You can't give it away. And I feel like with social media, our society has dampened and has dampened. It's so normal now to hand stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'll throw this out here. This is bonus. You ready? Because I've had to help teenagers I've mentored out of this without expecting it and getting hit in the face with it, but it worked. If a child takes a photo of themselves and they have no clothes on and they send that as a message, it is distribution of child pornography. It is a crime that the child can be charged with. If your child receives a photo that is receiving child pornography, these kids have no idea what they are doing. Mm-mm. They have zero clue that they are committing crimes and exposing not only their reputation and their integrity, but their future, because they're sending pictures. If you send a picture of someone else and they're a minor, you're going to have criminal charges pressed against you. If you use AI to generate the body using the face of a minor in a sexually explicit style photo, you are going to jail, kids. Parents, you are powerless unless you may be going with them if you're the one whose name's on the account. On the iPhone account. On the email that the AI creator service is generated through, who that subscription runs through. If it's through a parent, you may be a co-conspirator. We need to wake up to these kids and understand that they are so exposed and so oblivious to what they are subjecting themselves to. It is horrifying. It is life-changing. And that's not even bringing in pedophiles. Mm. That's not even introducing that to the role. So when being a lawyer and seeing all the stuff I see, our kids, for example, they don't have Roblox. They don't have Roblox. I don't know about my son either. They don't have Roblox. Shout out to Sean Ryan's podcast. If you guys
love Sean Ryan.
Isn't he amazing?
Yes.
If you guys have never seen the podcast that he's done that have been dedicated to exposing Roblox and the other social media platforms who refuse to enforce the law against pedophiles who are actively pursuing minors, and then beyond that, to the people who are causing these kids to kill themselves while on live stream for content creation. You need to go watch him and support him. I had a kid, he's a man now, who I coached for years and years, and I had these relationships intentionally built with these younger guys so that by the time they were 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, when they were stuck at a camp and didn't have a ride home, they wouldn't try to drive drunk. They would call Coach Eric, I'll come get you. I don't sleep. I'll come get you from the office. I won't have any questions. You just get home safe and you live, right? That's the deal. I had a kid call me, this was probably 2 years ago. He was a senior. He called me at 4 p.m. at my office, says, Coach Eric, are you at your office? I said, yeah, buddy, what's up? He goes, I need to come to your office and see you right away. I said, okay, fine, come down. He comes down. He walks in. First of all, he's in pajamas. Okay, shout out to people who wear pajamas in public, right? Like, my kids wear sweatpants to school. I don't know, you're younger than me. I don't know how it was for you guys. Our head was on a swivel that we were going to get a droopy. Like people
Yeah.
pulling our pants
Yeah.
down in school. We never wore sweatpants.
Yeah,
we were
no.
jeans all day,
Yeah.
every day. My kids, I'm like, you walk around with no fear. Like, you have no fear. You need to have a head on a swivel, man. So, anyway, but so he walks in and he's just disheveled. And I said, what is going on? And he holds his phone up. And I see a bunch of messages on it. And he said, Coach Eric, I stayed home sick from school today. My parents were at work. And I spent the morning messaging a girl. And I ended up sending her a nude photo of myself. And then as soon as I sent the photo, the girl said, I'm a dude, and you need to get into your parents' PayPal account and send me $500, or I'm going to send this nude photo of you to all of the people that you follow and that follow you. And oh, by the way, I'm live chatting with you. You have 5 minutes to do it before I send the photo. And I'm like, trying to process. I'm like, you what? I'm like, wait, what is happening? And so, thank you, Jesus, because I am not great at social media stuff, and I just trying to go. And I said, here's what you're gonna do. I said, right now, I need you to get on that app, and I need you to unfollow everyone local now. Unfollow now. Until he messages you back pressing again, because he will. He's going to know you're going silent and he doesn't want to give you time to mess around. So he's doing it. Guy messages back, goes, what are you doing? I said, he messaged back, what do I say? I said, you tell him your dad's PayPal account, you don't know the password. You're going to go get the password for your mom's, give you 10 more minutes. We're going to get mom's password for PayPal. We'll get him paid. He tells him, guy's satisfied, fine. Get it done. He gets unfollowed. I said, now, you need to unfollow everybody that's local, like your grandmother, your coaches, your teachers, all those people. I said, and then what we're going to do is I said, you're going to go to your social medias. You're going to go to the profile. I said, take a screenshot right now of this clown's profile. I said, we're going to go to your profile. We're going to make a post, and it's going to show this dude's profile and name and picture. And we're going to say, if you get a private message from this profile, do not open it, because he is an AI generating hacker that hacked me and created AI photos of me. And if you look at anything sent to you, he will get your account and hack you.
Wow.
He gets it all posted, ready to post. And he goes, Coach Eric, are we going to pay him? I said, no, we're not paying him a dime, man. I said, if you pay him $500, he's going to come back and go, never mind, I want $1,000. Never mind, I want $1,500. Never mind, I want $2,000. I said, we're not paying him a dime. I said, here's what the reality that you have to understand due to your dumb decision. I said, someone is going to see those photos. That's going to happen. We just have to isolate the exposure. That's the job, right? So we pretty sure we got everybody we needed. I said, now, as soon as you post that, and it has his profile, he's going to go AWOL. I said, so you have to post it, immediately block him, and report him. Immediately. Bang, bang, bang. He did. I said, now, shut your phone off. This was a Friday. I said, shut your phone off. He shut his phone off. I said, you are not turning this phone back on until Monday. Don't answer it. Let it ride. Second, because anybody that calls you about this is not your friend. You don't need to explain yourself. You already explained yourself in the post. Let it sit. Let it marinate. You don't have to do anything. You need to get your mind on something else. Understand the mistake. Number two, you're going home and telling your parents, because he hadn't even told them. He came straight to me. I said, you're going home and telling mom and dad what just happened and telling them what I did with you to make sure that this didn't happen again. And then they can deal with you on whether you need that social media in your life anymore going forward. But you're gonna, and I said, you better tell him because I'm gonna call and find out. And I did, and he did, and he told them. But here was the craziest part, and this is why I bring all this up. The statistics for high school and college age kids who are killing themselves in isolation and humiliation because they are being strong-armed by these people, and they're killing themselves, and it's happening all across our country, and it needs to end, and it starts with the parents knowing that it exists and the parents addressing it head on before it even is a thing, going, hey, if you ever have anything like this that happens to you, even if you send a picture, don't send a picture. But if you do, please tell me and we will fix it. Come to me. You are not alone in this. I will deal with these people with a wrath and a fire of righteousness that will end their existence as they know it now. You do not hide. You do not give up. You are not alone. You have us. This is on the parents to say this preemptively. You don't wait until it happens and then blame yourself. How did I not know? You tell them, if this happens, you talk to me. I will help you deal with it. I might be angry at you. I will be angry at you.
I will be.
I'm going to want to smack you around. But I'm not going to until we deal with the immediate threat. Because the internet is forever. So when it goes out there, it's forever. Right? It's going to follow them. Thank you, Jesus, that this stuff did not exist when I was in school. Because I would have been screwed. Right? But anyway, I want parents to know about it. I want, whether it's the treasure, digging for the treasure with relationships with the girls, whether it's primarily men, it's boys that are dealing with the suicide thing, because if I'll just say it, if a fake girl sends a boob picture to a young boy, he's immediately going to send a private picture of himself, because it's just the way that they're wired. Right? They just are. They'll do anything for it because it's such a rarity. They have to work for it to get. So it's like seeing, especially young men, and I literally, as that boy, this is the last thing I'll say about it, is he walked out, I said to him, I said, and any notion that you're embarrassed or that you might want to hurt yourself because of this decision, I said, no. You made this decision. You're going to live with this decision because you're a man and you do what you're supposed to do and you take care of what you're supposed to take care of, and your responsibility is to take accountability for your decisions. You understand what I'm telling you, boy? And he goes, yes, sir. Yes, Coach Eric. I said, good. Go talk to your parents. He was out. The parents not only were oblivious, which I can't blame them. It's a school day, whatever. But they went, well, can't we call the police to get the guy in trouble? No! You're calling the police and telling them that your son sent child pornography. That's why the person can get away with it. Because you're narking on yourself to get the other person in trouble. They know you're not going to do that. Unless you're oblivious and don't talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. But so they have you in a catch-22. These kids don't know what they're doing. The parents, we have to be proactive. If you have, especially for smaller kids that are demanding phones, whatever. I didn't have a phone until I was 20. I lived. It was fine. But the Bark phones we use a Bark. They give you Android phones with the Bark app software built onto it. It tracks everything. I can see everything. I have to intentionally improve and decide to approve every single phone number, every contact, every website, everything. Hope and I both have all of our kids hooked up on it. Our 3 older kids, 3 younger kids don't have it. And I'll be honest, the older kids gripe about it a little bit. But I'm like, if you gripe too much, you're getting a flip phone, dude. Like, we'll take you even further back, man.
The
I'm
Nokia.
not the one to negotiate with. We'll go the opposite direction, bro. And but anyway, so with the kiddos stuff, that's a real big thing on my heart. Is if I were, I don't know if you know this, you probably don't. So not only am I a lawyer, but we have one of the things I do is an estate attorney, and my opinion is that the estate software that's been used forever by all the lawyers in Pennsylvania, because it was the only estate software that existed, is garbage. I mean, it served a purpose, but it's like it would be like today, in my opinion, again, going from an Atari video game to what the kids are playing when they're playing Call of Duty or something on PS5. Like, it's such a huge, horrible, it's just bad. So about 6 years ago, myself and a gentleman who creates software, we started creating a estate software for estate administration for Pennsylvania lawyers. And it hit the market probably 2 months ago. And in a prototype version, we have probably 10 attorneys in Pennsylvania right now using it, and they love it. And it auto generates everything for you. So, like, instead of when someone dies and you have all these documents you have to fill out, so, like, maybe just one example, you have to write their social security number in 20 documents. That's 20 chances to screw it up. Mm-hmm. Okay? With our software, you type it in one time and it auto generates it in all 20 documents. If you have math, right? They say those who don't do math do law. That's me, right? I married a math teacher, opposites attract, right? It does the math for you and auto generates across all documents that we've created. It tracks your progress. I think a standard estate in Pennsylvania has between 60 and 70 requisite steps that have to be satisfied. And now if you take 20 to 30 estates with all those steps and you start them at all different times, it's chaos. Like, you're literally trying to track your progress of where you are in each case with sticky notes on the front of the folder. We've changed that, almost like on a the board game Battleship. There's a grid, and on the left side, running down the left side of the chart are the names of your estates, and then from left to right, it's lit up. There's lights lit up different colors to show you where you are in that particular file, so that it's all organized, all there. It does it all for you. Super visual. It's called Estate Tracker PA. You're going to see it at estatetrackerpa.com. Shameless plug.
No, you're
on
fine.
mine.
That's why I like to get awareness out there.
But it's going to change the industry.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm confident, and it's literally going to reshape it. It's going to It's going to change everything in estate administration in Pennsylvania, and the ease in which it does it. And my point of saying all this is, someday when I have the ability, I'm not going to be able to sit still, but when I don't have to run everything all the time by myself and I get some free time, I really feel like God is pushing me. He's really pushing me hard on, I don't want to say motivational speaker, but being a speaker and mentor to specifically young adult men. Obviously, I could speak to women too. It's funny how I get more common sense advice. I give more common sense advice with boys, it seems, and like nuts and bolts and meat and potatoes with girls. Because of my two daughters, it draws on my emotion, which may be a good thing. I just don't know if I have as much value to add as I do with the guys. Because I just feel like society's done it to women too. But I just feel like masculinity is emasculated.
For sure. You would be amazing at that, Eric. You should totally
That's
That
what
would
I
be
feel like
awesome.
God's telling me to do. I think that's what he's telling me to do, and
We don't have men leading families.
it's
We don't have men in families, let alone leading families. Let's put it that way.
right. Well, and it's hard. I mean, it is hard,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, how many when you have as a guy, whether you're a Christian or not, the mixed signals. If I make more than you, I'm gonna get 9 out of 10 times you're gonna go, I hate that you make more than me. You're not controlling me. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, well, okay, if I make less than you, you're such a bum. You don't make enough. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you don't feel supported and
Amen.
whatever. If you need to stick up for me. Like that guy said something. You need to say something. If I'm trusting you to protect me, but then on the flip side of it, I can do what I want. You can't tell me what to do. You don't. I don't need your help to do this. It's such a contradictive set of circumstances, and deep down, and again, obviously, I'm not a woman, but deep down, I have strong women in my life who want to live under and partner with the strength of a secure, imperfect, but godly man
Mm-hmm.
who brings decision making and power to that relationship that covers the family like an umbrella. Because ultimately, God is covering him,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know. I don't think deep down women really know what they're saying when they go, well, I need a guy that's not. I think at the end of the day, you want a dude who's going to be there for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I can't.
And those women need to respect
Yeah.
the husband's leadership and
Yeah.
decision.
Which, how dumb we are, how hard is that? Like, this, and if you guys hang something on that, that's a thumbtack statement, because I could talk for 5 hours on just that, because when you're talking about, if you don't know what love language your partner is or your kids, you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. That's number one, because the way that you're interacting may not intentionally. I am, when I handled divorces, I would see so many times two well-intended people sailing right past each other the opposite directions unintentionally, and they were good intended towards each other. They started that way. I tried to do this for her. I tried to do that for him. But you weren't speaking their language. Right? You weren't speaking their language. You weren't speaking their love language because you didn't know what it was. And typically people who are married don't have the same love languages.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is funny how God does that.
I know.
Right? It forces us to do. Hope sucks at words of affirmation. I love you, honey. And she would openly admit that.
Yeah, I was gonna say she would have.
Right? And I'll be honest, she's quality time. And after I spend all day
Oh, I think she has
long-
mentioned that in her podcast. Actually,
all
I
day
think
long,
she did.
the last thing I want to do.
I think she said she sucks at words.
I think she did,
I think
and
she did.
but we have openly talked about it. We joke about it, right? Like she'll walk in the morning, and like I'm brushing my teeth, talking myself up to myself in the mirror, and she knows what I'm doing because she doesn't do it to me. Like she's like, go ahead, you need to do it yourself. Go ahead.
Or when she does do it, it's probably really awkward.
It's so fun.
'Cause you know
Listen,
it's not
so
her.
we've gotten to the point now where I think we've been together long enough. Like a pat on the butt from her, that is sufficient as a "you look good today," and I'll take it. Like I'm walking on cloud nine, and my wife does that.
It's so funny.
But yeah. So the guys, it's such mixed signals, and you.
Or hey babe, how can I serve you today? What do you need?
That's crazy. That is so foreign to most people.
Mm-hmm.
That is so foreign. That's just so foreign. And knowing the words of affirmation, understanding have you ever heard, what was his name? There was a pastor, he has a really good message that talks about the love, respect, uh, spiral, circle. Essentially what it is, and this can, it's going to depend subjectively on the personalities of each individual person, but ultimately what it looks like is if a man feels disrespected, he acts unlovingly. And when a woman feels unloved, she acts disrespectfully. Okay? And it starts to spiral and go. And when you realize it's there, you have to cut it off and you have to interject and go, okay, I see what's happening here. I'm sorry, I love you. This is why I did this. I apologize. Please forgive me for this. I'll take responsibility for this part. I was an idiot. I'm stupid, right? Like, I didn't mean to do that. So when you say not disrespect, they should act respectfully. Again, I feel a lot of it comes back to self-hate and not valuing. If a woman is confident in herself, truly in herself, then no matter the task or the ask, she will take pride in it with a ferociousness, especially when she loves Jesus, and that's one of the purposes. She will be able to do it without reservation, with a ferocity that only a woman could do it with, that is inspiring. Now, whether it's getting the groceries, whether it's getting the kids, or whether it's running a company, I feel like most women, they don't know how valuable they are. They just don't. Part of it's in their DNA because of generational curses that have plagued them down. Some of it is their biochemical responses that are triggered because of encounters they had when they were kids that got them habitually acting certain ways that turned into tendencies, and their bodies and our brains start creating barriers, chemical barriers, to make us react certain ways when certain stressors come up. All these things. Some of it's that. Some of it is emotional, because the people that were supposed to love us most, that were supposed to protect us, were actually the ones who either abandoned us or hurt us in the most intimate ways that are just horrific and are not our faults, but it's the fault of the person who did it to us. No matter the reason, there is so much willingness to offer so much so quickly and expose so much, desperate for attention, but not full commitment. Acceptance, validation, a thumbs up on social media, a dopamine hit is more pursued than a man who can protect them, because of the baggage that they're bringing into that relationship. That again, we get deep into the weeds on that stuff going. You shouldn't even be in the relationship in the first place. Unless you're straight with God, you should not be talking to another human being in a romantic relationship, because you're just going to screw them up first. If you're not right with Jesus and you're not confident in yourself, and you don't have him have you in a place where you know who you are through him, we're not even in the place yet where we're going, well, can I go out on a date with him just to know if I want to marry him? No. Back up. You are not even you yet.
Yeah.
You need to get where you know who you are in Christ through his purposes and struggles, and knowing what that feels like with him, and knowing with confidence that no matter what comes against you, you're going to be who you are. No matter where you are, you're going to be you. And you follows you everywhere. And you need to be who Jesus wants you to be. Then we talk about, is it worth getting into a relationship with? Boyfriend, girlfriend, garbage. Are you going to marry that person? That's when we talk.
Mm-hmm.
Only after you get to know yourself. Dude, we could go back. This is stuff that my brain doesn't stop. I think about this stuff so much. My kids are both the beneficiaries and the and the ones who reap the tongue lashings sometimes because I'm going. Well, my kids, they're good. They're good kids. I haven't even. We don't have to get into. Well, you tell me what you want to do because I mean, how long have we been going?
It's at 3:15 right now. 3 hours 15 minutes.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Shut up!
No.
I told you we'd have the record.
You are my you got to win today, Eric.
This is yes. That's what I need.
This is over my longest podcast.
This is big.
I'm going to. I'm moving on to Sean Ryan.
There we go. Let's go, man.
With his 4-hour podcast.
I love it. What did he? I think he just did one that was 20 hours. Something. It was ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. I know he did a 2-parter with a guy. I forget who it was, but they were pretty long. I don't think they're
wow.
Bad,
so people who have never done this before. I've never done this before. That flies, man.
It does.
It flies.
Listen, you're always welcome back.
Yeah,
if there's
I agree.
Other topics you want to come
awesome.
and
Thank
talk,
you.
I would love to have you.
Thank you. That's
I mean, I literally just want to thank you. Our sermon last weekend with Pastor Chris, he kind of just went over, like, we don't have to feel shame sharing our stories and our testimonies. There doesn't have to be shame in that. I know I've been through some awful things. Everybody has. So I know people can feel shame in that and not really want to share what they've gone through because it's emotional and, all the things. But our stories are meant to be shared. And like he said, it's like throwing a flotation device out because it can help rescue others and sharing Jesus, how Jesus rescued us.
Yes.
And Jesus calls us to get out of the boat, to get out of our comfort zones. And because when we're outside that comfort zone, that's where we're really going to share Jesus and how he can really work in and through us.
Yes.
And he's our life preserver. He's our safe place. And he's going to have our back no matter where we are. So I just hope that this encourages my listeners to reach out to me to just want to come on, share their testimony, their story. We really need to be sharing, especially in these days. I do feel like we're coming up in the last days. I really think it's important to just give
especially
people
after
hope.
COVID, we were so isolated and
man,
it's so easy.
It's been
to be
so weird.
Seriously,
after COVID, the world it's definitely not the same. Doesn't feel the same. It feels. I don't know. It's so like just time. Time feels so weird. Like maybe
I agree.
It's just going so much faster than what it used to, and I don't know. Yeah, it's totally different after COVID, but I do like to ask these 3 questions with every guest. Do you have a favorite Bible verse? Or even in this season, a verse that you're standing on?
Yeah, no, that's good. So it's gonna sound like a cop out, but just like anything, I promise you, it's deeper with me than what you think. 1 John 4:8, God is love, and it's simple, it's easy to remember, but it is such a loaded verse. It is such a loaded set of words. If you wring those words out, those 3 words, and just for a second pause on God, right, which is a whole... We just spent the past, I guess, over 3 hours in different ways talking about what love looks like. Because when you hear God is love, right, what is that? What type of a sacrificial love is that? If you think about it in the context of a parent and a child, especially a thankful, fully committed child who's innocent, naive, and wants what you want, what won't you and I do for those kids to make sure that every need is met to get them to where we created them to end up and to do what I have created them to do. I will stop at nothing. Nothing. I will go through any wall. We're going to go up any hill. We're going to do whatever it takes and move whatever mountain needs to be moved in order to get this kid what is needed to fulfill my purposes for that child. That type of love is an indescribable love, an unfathomable love that is a love of a creator, of the maker of the universe, who knew who you were before he breathed life into you and I. That type of love is, God is love. Not was, not sometimes, not if I'm good enough, not if I'm behaving, not if I'm this, not if I'm that, not, he is that. In my broken, messed up, screwed up all the time, angry, resentful, tired, frustrated condition that I'm in, he is what he says he is. He is love. Right? So that was shout out to my friend Sean McDonald, who I went to kindergarten with, was friends with throughout high school. He died of leukemia probably about 15 years ago. And he was a fantastic human being. That was the verse that he hung on to for his family, to share with them, to try to get them to see Jesus and accept Jesus. He told me, he said, Eric, he goes, I literally saw Christ hanging on the cross. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I was in a condition, I was in my bathroom. He said, I'm leaning against the toilet. I couldn't breathe. He said, I looked up. It's so crazy to think about it. He's like, it was like someone pulled the shower curtain back. And he said, I saw Jesus on the cross looking down at me. And I had to accept him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's been gone for a while. I miss him very, very much. He was a fantastic person. We ended up running a Tough Mudder. I'd never heard of Tough Mudder before. And he was super healthy guy. That was the other thing. He was super healthy. He said, he goes, Cummings, I'm going to run this someday. You're going to have to run it with me. I'm like, okay, we can do that. So after he passed, I got a group of guys together, and we got T-shirts made with First John 4:8, God is love on the back. We did the Tough Mudder event. It was awesome because his mom and dad and grandmother got to come to the event. And when they kind of have, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's a 12-mile obstacle mud race that you do with groups, and it's real friend oriented. You're trying to help other teams and stuff. It's just finishing is a good thing. But before they launch the groups out into the race, they have kind of a staging area where there's a hype guy, and it's the same hype guy every race, and I'm guessing Tough Mudder paid this guy, and he was a good hype guy. Like he has the microphone, and are you ready? Hoorah! Like we're getting amped, right? Like you better be, because you're gonna freeze in 12 miles of mud and rain and get electrocuted. It's awesome. But you're getting ready to do this with this hype, and I remember he has you all take a knee so that he can see the crowd of about 500 people, because they send you out in like waves of 250 to 500 people, and he says, take a knee, and we take a knee, and he's getting us hyped, and I was just to the right of him, and whenever I was down, he could see the back of my shirt, and he said, hey, whoa, brother, stand up. I stood up. He says, what's your name? I said, Eric Cummings. He goes, what's the back of your shirt say? And he handed me the microphone. And he and I read the First John 4:8. It was awesome. Sean's mom and dad were crying. We were all crying. it was just one of those instances where you're going, it's all real, man. Like, it's all real. This is all real. Like, it's all here, and you can't deny it. Like, to have the guy that's running all the hype videos across multiple social media platforms that walks into any place he goes to with a Tough Mudder and he's recognizable. He calls our group up with the family there and calls us up out of all the people we could have called up throughout the entire day. He put a spotlight on what we were doing, and it brought a smile. It was really good. So yeah, that's 1 John 4:8.
I love that you put some meaning behind that.
Oh yeah.
What is one thing you would tell your younger self?
That's I'd probably slap my old self before I would talk to him. I'd get his attention with a slap to the back of the head. That's a good question. I would just tell him, hold on tight. Hold on tight. Trust God. And just do what you do. Just work. And it's going to work. Yeah. Just hold on tight, man. I'm telling you, I've been 46 years old, and I think I said earlier, wisdom of over 100-year-old, because of the magnitude of different expo. I mean, I only got to tell you 20% of stuff that I encountered over a 10 to 12 year window of time, relative to everything from reputation destruction to physical harm to sicknesses to relational breakdowns, to business breakdowns, to just absolute ridiculousness. Just hang on, and he will be faithful the whole time. Yeah, whole time.
What legacy would you like to leave behind?
That's a good one.
I know, it's a big question.
Well, I would say, if we're talking my kids, I would say I want them to understand how to and be comfortable with and leave them capable of bucking the system and breaking the rules together for an objective or purpose that is God inspired, knowing that they have been created and destined to do both their own unique things and, more importantly, great things that God has called them to do together that they cannot do alone, and impact a community wherever they are for the better. Because I'll tell you what, I have some persistent, stubborn kids. And you get them going the same direction as adults that love Jesus and that fire that they bring, all different attributes. Good luck. Good luck. I would not want to have to deal with them.
I mean, Vivi alone's strong-willed.
She is me to the T. That is my child.
Okay, so little fun rapid fire. You can only use one word, okay? So it makes it fun.
I'm not good
At
this.
least on this. At least on this one. At least on the
go
first
ahead.
one.
Yep, we're good.
What is one word your kids would use to describe you?
Fixer.
Ooh, okay. That's good. You did say that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What is a favorite snack?
Late night ice cream with peanut butter.
Oh, that sounds
So bad.
delish. I guess you already mentioned this one, night owl or morning bird. You
Night
said
owl.
you're definitely not a morning. Um, if you could eat one food forever, what would it be?
Ooh. Orange chicken.
Orange.
Chinese food. Orange chicken.
Um, what movie could you watch over and over again?
The Godfather.
Oh, good one. Oh, that's
I love
that's
it.
you too, a T. I just want to remind my listeners, whether you're walking in clarity or searching for direction, just stay close to God, keep listening to his voice, keep taking that next faithful step, and remember that you were created with purpose, called for a time such as this, and there is deep joy in walking the path God has set before you. I want to thank you for spending this time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with others. You can share it on your socials or just with family or friend. You can also leave reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I would greatly appreciate it. You can hit the follow button, and that's going to update you when new episodes release. If you are interested in coming on, you can reach out to me at gmrickner@icloud.com or reach me on socials. It's the same across all platforms, gina.rickner. As always, go out and find the joy today. Bye, friends.